that there is life abundance.
Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Aftermath Arena. I am so happy you all are joining me tonight as we are going to be watching some incredible show matches. We've got 3 extremely high-skill matches happening between 6 incredible Stormgate players. I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I'm glad that I can share them here with you all today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the matches that we are going to be watching today. We've got some incredible players. Starting us off, we're going to be taking a look at a best of 3 between Lorimbo and Mixu. Following that up, we have Theory going against Top. And then, as a finale, the main event, we're going to be watching some incredible games of PartinG versus Probe. It is shaping up to be some of the best Stormgate I think I will have seen. This is quite a ways into the beta. You guys have seen builds evolve, playstyles evolve through the many tournaments that have gone on. So I'm very happy that we're going to be able to go ahead and see these games tonight. Is this a best of 3? Good question. So these are going to be 2 best of 3s. Lorimbo versus Mixu. Theory versus Top. They're going to be playing best of 3s. PartinG versus Probe is going to be a best of 5. A best of 5. And they're not just playing for glory. They're not just playing for the thrill. They're playing for cold hard cash, my friends. We've got $200 total on the line. Splitting that between all the games here. I believe in the best of 3s, the winner's taking a clean 35. Oh my goodness. Hello, welcome, welcome. We are just getting started, everybody. Top, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that. Very excited to get started here. So, guys, these matches, I do want to let you know, you're going to see it in-game. They have already been played. Because of the massive time difference for everybody, it was going to be a bit too difficult to get everyone, to sit down all at the exact same time, play the show matches one after the other. And we wanted to make sure that we're not going to miss any here. So we do have them. I don't know the outcome of any of these matches, so I'm going to be experiencing them here for the first time with you guys here today. Yeah, I'm excited. Should we just go ahead and get started? I think we should. So once again, guys, for those of you that are just joining us, let's go ahead and show you a bit of what we've got going on tonight. Like I said, starting us off is going to be Lorimbo versus Mixu in a best of 3. And then we have Theory versus Kiwian or Top. And then finishing us off here, we've got PartinG versus Probe. Best of 3, and then a best of 5. Very excited, too, because they are each playing a different race. So we're going to have Infernal versus Vanguard to take us through all the way. I'm stoked. I don't think I have anything else I need to say here other than let's just heckin' get to it. Let's get to it, guys. Of course, as many of you all know, the casting interface for Stormgate right now is pretty basic. It's very raw, shall we say. So forgive any sort of technical difficulties that might arise from that. And I'm sure you guys will be more than happy in accommodating here. But I'm going to go ahead and get us into it right here, right now. Starting us off in the top right corner of Broken Crown. You know him, you love him. It is the red Vanguard player, Mixu. We can do some we can zoom in. Look at this. We can zoom out. Fantastic. Which must mean that his opponent in the bottom left corner, the blue Infernals player, it is Lorimbo. Opening up with a Iron Vault, pretty standard so far. Gonna go ahead and throw 2 imps down to the natural here. The dog jumping in, not actually gonna go for any worker harass that I've seen so far. I don't think we missed anything. The action starts quickly in Stormgate. Blink and you'll miss it. Now, Mixu, of course, representing Berserker Esports. One of the best European Vanguard players that we've seen. Lately placed sort of second best in his alpha phase against PartinG. And it was a TANC Season 0 finalist. So some really excellent stuff. Very exciting. Gonna immediately go ahead and split the Fiend here from Lorimbo. Try to go across the map. I've seen a lot of high-level Inferno players do this. Just immediately trying to go for that scout to make sure that they're not playing against some dog spam or maybe some early Hornets. And it looks like we are going to see a couple dogs and a Lancer. Nothing too extreme. One of those Fiends is going to make it in. We'll be able to get a good sense of what's going on here. Now, guys, again, I can't necessarily see what these buildings are when they're in production. So you'll have to forgive us. We don't have quite that information yet. We can take our best guess. What is this going to be? What could it possibly be? We'll have to wait and see. I think he might be going into some hedgehogs. We'll see. A starport? I don't know. I don't think so. No, definitely not. Gonna start making some void rays. Yeah. Mixu gonna go ahead and start taking some of the resource camps on the map. Lorimbo trying to suss out maybe where the majority of the army is, and looks like trying to go for a very early third. Not going for any conclave quite yet, just now halfway finished, so no gaunts are out on the map, completely forgoing any sort of creeping. Just doing this 9 out of 12 split on the Luminites so far, only dedicating 2 to Therium, so not going for a fast Greater Shrine, not going to try to go for a quick Doombringer drop. Instead, favoring to go for a third in a Shroud Stone here at the front. So seeing a very, very, very heavy focus on macro play, which is pretty unique to Infernals right now. Most of the time, I think I've seen most people go for Doombringers, lots of gaunts, try to put the pressure on early. But we'll see where this goes from here. Mixu gonna go for some, just some creep jacking, I would say. And looks like going to be going into a bit of hedgehog spam. And 2 more mystery buildings. Looks like they're going to be barracks here. So not that much of a mystery. Did pop the Bob overcharge in order to build these faster. So might be going for a bit of a Lancer timing with these hedgehogs. We'll have to wait and see. More conclaves coming up for Lorimbo here. Third base is up and running. Shroudstone at the front. I don't think Mixu's even scouted this quite yet. Again, it's not really typical for Infernals to go for such an early third. One of the scouts will go down, but the Shroudstone is going to be taken down for that. And just a pretty small number of units right now. Going to go ahead and go for either, what is this, double Shroudstone, I would imagine? Yeah. Really trying to stay tucked in on 3 base. Make as few defense units as possible and just focus on that economy. Gonna go for 12 out of 12 on Luminites, so we're fully saturated now in the main. Looking almost fully saturated at the natural, and the Greater Shrine just now finishing up here in the natural. So the question is, do we see the Shadow Cleft? Are we gonna see them go for Weavers first off? Hellborn? It looks like Shadow Cleft is going to be the option. Okay, Mixu now scouting that third base more than likely is finished up here. No 4th coming out quite yet. No third, but looks like that's going to change here in just a little bit as Mixu goes for their third base as well. Yeah, not many options here for Mixu to poke in and get too much damage done. They've got to respect these Shroud Stones, especially up on the high ground. Decent amount of Brutes and Gaunts here, and you can always just spam out some more. Not sure what the Animus number is for Lorimbo. It can't be too high, though. Looks like a bit of a dive coming in here for Mixu. Just going to try and take out that Shroud Stone before the second one finishes up. No real damage done quite yet, but a bigger attack happening. Just a bit of a skirmish. That's the benefit. Having so many of these hedgehogs, you're just so mobile. Able to jump in, pick off one of those Brutes, and jump back out without really losing anything of value. Third base now finished up for Mixu on the other side of the map. I'm going to go for the health camp, actually, on this side of the map. That's kind of nice. Knowing that your opponent didn't creep at all, being able to take the health camp and safely run your units over there. I dig that. Really small amount of Ethereum mining here from Mixu. As Lorimbo doesn't have too much more himself, but actually has quite a bit more than Mixu does. More Iron Vaults, more Conclaves. Getting an upgrade off of the Shadow Cleft here. Hellborn out as well. Going into that nice Tier 2 Infernals army. Couple of Fiends just going to go in here and harass a little bit against these Bobs. There's a ton of buildings coming down here. As it looks like Mixu is going into a mech build. Yeah, I would say so. Okay, yeah, we are seeing a mech build Vanguard. This is a very rare. I mean, well, I haven't seen many Vanguards go for mech. So really curious to see how this works out here. But this is super cool. Looks like Lorimbo just happy to sit back on 3 bases. Not trying to get that 4th at all quite yet. And just making more Hellborn. I wish I knew exactly what the upgrade was that was being taken from that Shadow Cleft, but I'm not quite sure. Mixu gonna back off into the middle of the map. Getting a few of the Lancers that were unfortunately rallied into the army there. Yeah, looking for this 4th base. Seeing that now Mixu is, or apologies, Lorimbo has just now started to think about taking it there. Able to get the deny. Didn't even get the cancel off on that, unfortunately. So that's Worker and Luminite lost there. But it looks like Lorimbo doesn't care. He's going to just try and trade thirds, perhaps. And this is a much more aggressive trade here. Couple of Atlases in the back here. They're going to start shelling down these Gaunts. A few of them going down in the initial blast, but these Hellborns are already starting to target fire them down. The army is a bit far away here. The Hedgehogs now joining on, going to target fire down these Hellborn. As the Atlases in the back are living, but the Bobs are all going down. The Gaunts are taking them all down and turning them into Fiends. I feel like if we get those Fiends perhaps on top of the Atlases, we don't even need to. Going to go for the map-wide Shroud. And the fight looks like it's definitely, well, I'm not sure. I say that, and now there's so many Fiends I notice already in the natural. That's going to be the 3rd Atlas going down. Perhaps they can even get the 4th. Yes, it looks like they will. No, going to go ahead and micro those away and just try and buy as much time as possible. A Magmadon coming out almost takes down that Hedgehog over there. And all these units now so close to dead. I mean, these Lancers are just a hair's breadth away from all dying. Oof, that could have been actually really close. Okay. Was that fight? I'm having a hard time telling if that fight was actually in favor of Mixu or Lorimbo there. If anything, I don't think it was too much in Mixu's favor. Losing those atlases like that. And already a pretty sizable army being rebuilt here. Fourth base is almost going down, but Mixu is going to try to put the kibosh on that. Goes once again for the health camp that's over here. Was that in vision? I think it may have been. No, I don't believe it was. Now these Lancers are going to move over here. Shroud Stone will get canceled. Looks like the Imp will get saved, though. I spoke a little too soon. That Imp is dead. Okay, and more Atlases. A couple of medics now streaming through the center of the map. The Lancer's going to fully retreat on the right side of the map here. Lancer's moving in. These Atlases doing a fantastic job shelling down these Shroud Stones. As once again, Lorimbo looks like actually just going to go for the third base one more time. Maybe sacrifice this one here. Isn't too worried about the slow push from these Atlases. Instead decides, you know what? I'm actually just going to go ahead and trade. I have more bases than you. I know it. Is that going to work out? We'll see. And meanwhile, building more Shroud Stones over here. And it looks like Mixu is actually going to try to come back and defend against this. I don't know, though. I think this might be a bit too late to try to get these Atlases in position. By the time they come back, all of these Bobs are going to be dead. They're going to turn into Fiends. I am a little bit worried here. There are two Atlases already in position, trying to shell them down here, but these Hellborn are getting some really fantastic hits down. Okay, the Bob overcharge does go out. Magmadon stomps his way in there. Nice pickups, though, from Mixu. Saves that Atlas. Only two Hellborn really remain from this army here. But I believe this was just too many Bobs to lose for this kind of trade. I mean, Mixu may have defended this, but I'm a little bit worried about their position. All they were able to get done on the other side of the map was kill a shrine that didn't have any workers at it and a couple of Shroud Stones for this. I don't know exactly how many workers did go down there, but at least 12, I would say. One of these Luminite mines are completely depleted. We do have 9 workers over here. They're going to go ahead and repair each other up. And, unfortunate. They're just going to kind of sit back, take their breaks. Okay, all right. Now they're going to go ahead and get back to work here. But look at this. A Flayed Dragon already out here for Lorimbo. He takes down one of the units here and is now moving across the map again. And I think this is probably going to get it. A couple of Sky Mines here in the air. Not too difficult for the Flayed Dragon to avoid, however. These Atlases are going to die very quickly to this Flayed Dragon, especially since it spawns 2 Fiends per kill. The DPS there is just too much, and that is going to be GG there for Lorimbo. Well played. Mixu GGing out. This is, again, one of the things with replays, of course. We can't see who types GG, but I think we can infer at that point exactly what has happened. So GG, well played there to Lorimbo, taking game 1 in a fantastic style. Going for that really fast third base, not creeping basically at all. Very interesting. In-game sounds pretty low. Okay, cool. Thank you for the... Thank you for that. We do have them turned all the way up, but we'll go ahead and start creeping it up even more. All right. That should be good. Hopefully, let me know if that's still... Okay, that sounds pretty loud to me, so hopefully that sounds pretty good to you guys. But fantastic job there from Lorimbo. Mixu going for a really cool mech style. Spamming out a bunch of hedgehogs there, trying to get into Atlases. That Flayed Dragon, though, really just sealing the deal at the end there. And I think that last trade just really not going the way Mixu wanted, of course. I do still have hair. It's true, PartinG. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. If you're just joining us here, we are casting the afterMath Arena. Number 1. To bring us in here, we've got Lorimbo versus Mixu happening right now. Coming up next is going to be Theory versus Top. And then to finish it all off, we've got PartinG versus Probe. A match of the ages. Let's waste no time in going into game number 2. I'm as eager as you are to see what's going on. All right, we'll load in here. And fantastic. In our top right corner, the Infernal player up a game currently. And looking to go ahead and take another one, it is Lorimbo. And in the bottom left corner, it is the blue Vanguard player down a map, but not out in this best of 3, Mixu. All right, gonna open up with a conclave on this map here. This was the second map introduced in the open beta, which was one of my favorites. I really like this map. I know it's a bit, I don't know. It had a storied history of some strange games. And we see the all-important Imp Shuffle as the dog performs its godly duty of trying to deny the shrine for as long as possible. All right, and the Gaunt will come out here and put a kibosh on that. The question is Lorimbo going to try to go for this speed camp? It looks like he is going to go ahead and try to go for it here. Now, this is a potentially kind of scary thing to do, knowing that there's a dog still out on the map. One Gaunt, of course, can take this speed camp down. You just kite along. Your Infest deals damage over time to all 3 of them. Your attacks cleave. It's a really, really nice position speed camp for the Infernals player here. You just got to make sure that you don't get dogged upon. But it doesn't look like Mixu's got any plans of making any more dogs right now. In fact, they've not made a single... I was going to say a single structure, but we've already got an expansion out here. It looks like we're going to go for a double barracks. Once again, popping that Bob overcharge to make these buildings super fast. And Lorimbo's going to go ahead for the vision camp over here with these fiends. Going to scout around and see what might be coming up here. Doesn't actually take the vision camp. This is only good players do this. That's right. Wait to take the vision camp. Yeah, I believe this map was pretty Vanguard favored in the previous tournaments. I think a question of what race I'm playing. I'm being drug out into the light here. I, of course, play Infernals. Infernals. I'm a bit of a fanboy, you could say. A few Lancers now coming across the map. Going to try to go for a cheeky early push. Potentially seeing the lack of an Iron Vault opener here, knowing that there won't be as many brutes on the map. Going to scout ahead with the dog and leave these Lancers in the trees. And this is indeed 3 Conclaves to 1 Iron Vault. So now a second Iron Vault. Look at that. Both players staying on 2 bases for now. Really getting a lot of value out of this dog. Scouting around, trying to see what creep camps they might be at, what they might be trying to take. Of course, you can see what creep camps have been taken, even if you haven't scouted them. They currently do display a timer above them that shows you their respawn time, so you can know exactly when they were taken. That can give you actually some really good information on where your opponent's army might be. Oh, and it looks like Lorimbo is just going to try to close this one out early here. Bob Overcharge is going to go out. So many Gaunts, though. Is this going to be enough? 2 more Lancers just now popping in. The Lancers from the back are going to get a nice surround. Immediately going to jump on top of these Gaunts, and they hit their speed boost. Coming in, absolutely destroying the Gaunts in the back line. There's really no more army here for Lorimbo. He's just going to try and get as much damage done as possible. But these Lancers, dude, they're so fast, and I think that's actually just going to be GG. Lorimbo, a little bit, well, let's just say he got lanced. He got lanced! Happens to the best of us. GG, well played to both players. But it looks like we're going to be going to a game number 3 as Mixu ties it up. 1-1. Sometimes you got to go in. Sometimes you take the vision camp. You don't see anything. You think maybe he's out on the map. Mixu, though, keeping his Lancers in that tree vision for a long time. Or in that tree, I would say, hiding spot. Really making it difficult for Lorimbo to see where on the map he was. And suddenly he's behind. And suddenly the Lancers are moving at supersonic speed. They move across your screen in an instant. And all of your Gaunts are dead. And that's just how that is sometimes. That's just how that is sometimes. The Turbo Lance. Yeah. All right. And that is going to bring us to game number 3 in our best of 3 of Lorimbo versus Mixu. Very excited here, guys, to see how this one is going to finish. Let's get into it. Best of 3. Let's go. What is the last map going to be? I actually don't even know. I don't have this information privy and at hand. And it's everyone's favorite map, of course. Certainly nobody has any issues with this map here. Certainly it's completely balanced and fair for both races. The Jagged Maw. If you're a Lorimbo fan, I want to see you cheer for this man in the bottom corner of the map. He's down, but he's not out. Actually, he's not really even down. They're tied. It's Lorimbo, the Blue Infernals. And that means in the top right corner of the map, looking to take a clean game number 3 and win this one out. It is the Red Vanguard player, Mixu. Are we going to see... There's so many memes you can do on this map, actually, guys. There's so many. You can try to go for the super early siege camp that was dominating the TANC tournament not too long ago, the EGC tournament. I wasn't able to watch too much of the TANC myself, so I'm not 100% sure if we saw that in there. You can, of course, go for the second shrine in the main to overcap your Luminite and also get crazy fast Therium mining. There's a lot. We saw Shroud Stones being taken in the middle of the map. And it looks like it is going to be the early siege. Shroud Stone goes down over here. If you guys haven't seen this, well, you're in for a treat. Unfortunate scout timing, though. It looks like for Lorimbo, who's just going to miss that this Bob is, in fact, attacking over here. He's going to go for a sentry. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Okay, I've not seen this now. I know what's happening over here. I don't know what's happening over here. So I am fascinated to see what's going to happen. Lorimbo, of course, going to go ahead and try to take this siege camp down early. He's not committing to one base on this. He's also trying to get as much white health on these Gaunts as possible, keeping them in the Shroud and letting the Shroud Stone do much of the tanking. So it will delay the kill of this camp, but you can see even 2 attacks completely drains the entire white health bar for the Gaunts there. Meanwhile, Mixu over here. Oh my god. Okay, I was not aware of this. I didn't know this was legal. So built a sentry in the center, much like the Shroud Stone. Put a Lancer in it and has 2 mobs repairing it the whole time. Okay. And Mixu has got the siege camp. Lorimbo's got the siege camp. It's going to come down. Well, it's going to come down to something. I really actually don't know what it's going to come down to here. But both of the siege camps, both of the siege tanks are attacking each other. It looks like +1 attack over here, and the Bobs are going to be able to repair it. Oh, this is an absolute disaster for Lorimbo so far. These Lancers are going to get on top of the Gaunts immediately. Hello. I think this is just it. I actually think this is just it. I think Mixu just wins right here. The repair on the turret. The Shroud Stone's going to try to do some damage, but they cannot out-damage the repair from the Bobs. All that we have are 3 Gaunts and a Brute. No Shroud Stones going down over here. Only 2 at the Shrine. But of course, the Siege, the Catapult does outrange that completely. So long as they keep the Lancers in the back and just protect the Catapult, exactly like what they're doing. Okay. Yeah. I'm waiting to see, though. Perhaps they've got the micro to pull this one out here. Okay, the Catapult does go down, so the attack is staved off for now. These Lancers are pretty low HP. The Infect shouldn't pop any of them, I don't think. And now Lorimbo is going on the aggressive here. Bob's immediately trying to put up a sentry here for the Lancers to jump into. A second one going to go down here. Lancer jumps in. Of course, with the Lance, you shoot out these whirling blades, which do sort of chain damage. And we've kind of reached like a weird state of balance. Mixu, though, going for the Super Luminite base. And Lorimbo taking just the normal 3rd progression base here. So I think I'm absolutely favoring Mixu in this position. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. He's going to go ahead and take down the health camp to try to recharge his Lancers here. We are just on Lancer tech. But as we saw last game, Lancers can sometimes be enough. Lorimbo having the same idea to heal up his units as well. 2 more, what is this, meat farms, I think. Yep, meat farm's going to go down here. No Greater Shrine quite yet. Still on Double Conclave. Iron Vault. Oh, no, there's a Greater Shrine at the Natural. Sorry, guys. And a Shadow Clef going down here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this, the difference here in Luminite, I don't know if Lorimbo is going to be prepared for this. He certainly doesn't have any idea that he's taken this base. He has scouted with his Fiends. I think this is maybe a bit deceptive here. Lorimbo thinking that Mixu might just be on 2 bases. I don't believe they've scouted the 3rd here. I can't check their vision. But maybe going to go ahead and scout this now. Will indeed go and see. Okay, yes. Mixu does have this base. And there's a pretty healthy number of workers mining at it. Shadow Cleft almost finished up here. Lorimbo not choosing to try to go for another expand after seeing that base. The siege camp is back online here. It is a level 4 camp, so it's that much harder to try to take down. Lancer's going to go ahead and get an attack done over here at the 3rd. Going to drop down the Super Shroud Stone. That's the best name I have for it. And Mixu going to go ahead and respect that. The Super Stone does an absolute ton of DPS. Attacking into it just seems to always be a mistake. These Gaunts, though, out of position. Losing 2 of them in a flurry of attacks. Weaving in and out of the health camp. Oh, I think this Brute is also dead here. A little bit of rough micro here from Lorimbo, but having to go back and defend this attack happening at his natural. Is able to get his Magmadon in there. Does lose one. But the speed, man. The speed of these units. They're so fast. Able to disengage at the drop of a hat. Meanwhile, the Lancers coming back in to attack the third here. Are going to be able to take that Shroud Stone down. Lorimbo going to go ahead across the map. Try and get something done. While he knows back at home, he's either just going to get picked apart. All right, we do have a medic inside of there. Switching that out quickly for a Lancer. Now, the Magmadon is getting on top of them. Was able to get a full stomp off. A second Magmadon coming through, getting more stomps going. The Sentry in the front here tanking so much damage. Is it going to be enough here? Lorimbo not liking his chances as much. No Fiends for the... Okay, actually, I take that back. There's one Fiend that runs up just in the nick of time. Magmadon is able to consume it before dying. Fully healing up that white health. Kind of working himself into a corner here. Getting attacked from the Lancers in the back. And the overcharged Bobs in the front. These Bobs dealing actually a considerable amount of damage as this Magmadon dies to them. Oh no. Say it ain't so. Lorimbo moving up, attacking on both fronts here, trying to get the Gaunts to take out the third. Meanwhile, the main attack of Magmadon Gaunt going over into the natural. There are some Exos out, however. Their stomps are finished. These Magmadons are going to go down. But will they be able to take down the units at the third before losing this base? I'm going to go with a no. Third base is going to go down. Exos are here to clean this up, though. Do need to be careful with your Lancers against these Fiends. But that is going to be it for that attack here. Lorimbo does still have his third, does still have his Therium Mining. And is able to take Mixu back down to 2 bases. Mixu, though, army is getting into that scary Exo Ball Lancer tank with some medics. On the other side, Lorimbo going into Magmadon Gaunt. Now busting out some Hellborns as well. Lorimbo not really going for too much creeping in a lot of these games. All right, man with the gun running up on the ramp here. Immediately just takes out one of the Magmadons. I actually didn't even see this one's health bar. It just got obliterated from existence. Third base is back up. Bobs are happily mining over here once more. No fourth base quite yet. We do have one of the salvage yards so that we can get some Therium mining done over here. Fiends are going to just try and do some harassment. Mixu going for the siege camps. Once again, this could spell a bit of disaster. Couple of Fiends going to go across the map, see if the base gets retaken, which of course it has. The siege camp has been taken. They're going to try to go for this other siege camp as well. Double catapults over here. Now, you can aggro this catapult. This might be the perfect time, though, to try to engage against this. Yeah, as the catapult gets immediately taken out, but not without its cost. A bunch of Gaunts going down here. Hellborn are trying to move forward. These Exos are trying to take use of their range and speed in order to pick off these Magmadons one at a time before the Hellborns can really get too many attacks, but some huge hits coming off here. Oh, these guys are almost dead. They're so close, these Exos. Barely hanging on. They have a shred of HP. Taking that Magmadon down here. These Hellborn might have what they need to take down a bulk of this army, but the healing looks to be pretty strong. Hellborn are going to have to retreat off of this. There's no more brutes to tank for them, and they're just going to start getting taken out one by one. A few Hellborn going down, losing a bulk of the Magmadons there. We still have 2. This siege camp is still available. And it looks like 4th base going down for Lorimbo. Really, if you have this double Luminite base and you have the double Therium mining, which we have it, but we're not mining currently, you don't really need to expand to these bases, I guess. Oh, an absolute disaster of a time. Lorimbo trying to take the siege camp, gets all of his Hellborns jumped on, and I've got to imagine that's just going to be like, that's going to be it. In the blink of an eye, Mixu jumping on top of those units, taking down all of his tier, all of his Hellborn, and Lorimbo does indeed leave the game. GG, well played, as Mixu takes it 2-1. A fantastic game. And what I have to say is just a fantastic map. Well played to both our players. A very, very interesting start to that game, but Mixu taking down Lorimbo with some fancy siege camp maneuvers, some good exo mining, and a very, very nice and clean expansion to the double Luminite. I think having that for so long really just put him ahead in this game and made it tough for Lorimbo to kind of fight on equal footing. Super well played, though, to both players. Super, super well played. Fantastic. Guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but I want to tease you with what we've got coming up next here. When we return, we are going to watch Theory versus Top in a best of 3. We've seen Vanguard take games 1. Can they take the second best of 3? Or will the Infernals make a bit of a comeback? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Appreciate you all joining us for Aftermath Arena Week 1. If you guys have enjoyed this so far, make sure to follow Aftermath on Twitter and on YouTube. For any more upcoming events, !Aftermath in the chat will get you there. I've done the hard work for you. I'll see you guys in just a bit for Theory versus Top. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Aftermath Arena Week 1. We have just gotten off of a absolutely banger start watching Lorimbo versus Mixu. Mixu putting up an absolutely incredible game 2 and 3. Lorimbo taking game 1. Let me get you guys some updated graphics here. Have you guys enjoyed this so far? If you have, definitely feel free to let us know. !Aftermath will get you all the way to the distant land that is our Twitter account. Lorimbo taking the first map, Mixu taking the next 2. Man, you would imagine I can speak English. And bringing us in to the best of 3, number 2, it is Theory versus Top. Vanguard have taken games 1. However, we still have games 2 and games 3. PartinG and Probe coming up after that in a absolutely massive best of 5. Which I, for one, am desperately looking forward to. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, everybody. Bringing us in to game number 1 of Theory versus Top. Let's take a look. Looks like we are going to be starting off on Broken Crown. In the bottom left corner of Broken Crown, you know him as a Terran master. And now, reprising that role as a Vanguard. Placing top 4 in EGC. Absolutely solid macro. Extremely inventive rushes. It is Top, the Vanguard player. And in the top right corner of the map, he helped define some of the Infernal meta absolutely plagued the ladder with a extremely cheeky early speed camp rush on this map. And is so far the only player I've seen, not once, but twice, kill his own buildings by clicking on them on the minimap. It's the Infernal player, Theory. What have we got in store for us today? Opening up with a very safe Conclave in the main. We've got an Iron Vault at the natural. This has been a lot more popular lately, going for these low ground buildings to wall off the ramp. Holds very well against Lancer rushes. And speaking of Lancers, we've got some of those in the middle of the map here. Theory's going to try and venture out and see if he can't get some Fiends going. But might be in for a bit of a nasty surprise as this Lancer jumps on top of that Gaunt immediately. Meanwhile, the Brute takes a bunch of damage from that Spider there. The Dog running up in the front. Oh, wasn't able to block it, but it's enough. Absolutely disgusting play from our Vanguard player. The tricky, tricky resource camp of Broken Crown. And now they're free to creep around. Gaunt free. All right, looks like Theory doing the classic 10 out of 12 on Luminite, which I believe we found to be the most efficient in the beta so far. Staying active with the dogs, doing some scouting. And speaking of rushes, there is, well, let's just say there's a few Lancers on the map looking like they might try to do some kind of cheeky business here. Scouting in with the Dog first, just going to bypass the Iron Vault and the Conclave, immediately try to jump on top of the shrine here. A fourth Lancer joining the fray. There's only a Gaunt and a Brute here. Immediately the Gaunt gets cornered. Oh my goodness, and goes down. That's the second Gaunt this game to just get absolutely clobbered by these Lancers. Brutes are going to try and hold the wall here, but there's no Shroud Stones currently. Two more Gaunts coming down here. Getting a 6 around once again on those Brutes. Immediately, the Lancers are just going to run towards those Gaunts. Now, the Shrine is almost finished. Going to pop that into a Fiend and try and get some DPS done here. Blocking off the ramp, trying to force these Lancers in. The damage has been done already, but trying to get even 1 or 2 of these Lancers could really turn things around and give Theory the space he needs. Just going to have to suffice with shooing them off. Now, of course, Broken Crown does have these wonderful plants on the ground. I don't know if they've all been taken already. Looks like they may have been. Nope, there's one right there. Attacking this does heal your units. Oh, it's actually already been attacked. That was the flower that heals your unit. So there we go. Instead, going to go ahead and take this health camp down and heal these Lancers back up here. So far has been a theme in our games on Broken Crown. Go for a good amount of Lancers in the beginning, get them all to very low HP, and then heal them up with the health camp. Makes sense to me. Theory, meanwhile, going up to 10 out of 12 Luminites on his natural. Greater Shrine is finished up here and completely pulling off of Therium. And going to go for a Doombringer drop. First one we've seen so far. Lorimbo not favoring going for Doombringer versus Vanguard. Third base, not going up quite yet, but a Shroud Stone in preparation for that third base is. And here's where the action is so far. Now, this is an empty sentry. It does just have kind of a pea shooter that attacks you. Lancers following this Doombringer over here, but there's so many Lancers on the other side of the map. I don't know if Theory is going to be able to hold on here. Only 2 Brutes. 3 Brutes now entering the fray. A few Gaunts. Going to have to try and defend with these Imps here. Shroud Stone does go down. Lancers do have the upgrade, of course. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it looks like the Doombringer has not found the damage it was looking for. Top completely defending. Gonna go ahead and pop those Fiends, try to get some extra DPS, but these Lancers able to reposition so quickly. Super Shroud Stone is gonna go down, but just like that, the Lancers are gonna go and retreat back to the empty third here. Some Gaunts are gonna try to find their way into these Lancers, but this is an absolute mistake from Theory. Oh my god, as they are now just gonna go down. Oh, it's an absolute disaster. 4 Gaunts just like that. And it says, you know what, why not? I'll take the resource camp while I'm at it. I am not loving the chances from Theory here in this game so far. Every Gaunt that spawns seems doomed to die by the blade of a Lancer in this game. And Top is very happy to just go back home and once again make use of that health camp. Heal these boys back up to full before they start shredding into more Gaunts. Doombringer in an unfortunate position as the Lancers are already here to defend. Due diligence here by Top. A sentry in each of the Luminite mines. Shrine going down at the third here. But a command center already posted up here at the third for Top. Yeah, this is looking dicey. Theory's going to need something big to take this one back here. Now, we do have access to Weavers. Weavers, I happen to know one of Theory's favorite units to make versus Vanguard, but I think it might be a little too late for that. We'll see. And there they are. Gonna be going for a bit of an imp drop. That might be enough to turn the tables against the Lancers. Now, I believe it does take 2 imps per Lancer, maybe even 3, in order to detonate on them and kill them outright. Okay, just a couple of imps coming out of that Doombringer here. Meanwhile, an entire second army comprised of only Exos making their way across the map. If Theory's going to have any chance of defending, it's going to be right here, right now. Beautiful splits, however, from Top. Only losing a single Lancer against those 4 imps. And here comes the Exo spam. Pulls in one of the Lancers here. Going to try to retreat a bit. The imps moving out here. Able to get a few more of those Lancers, but there's just not enough imps to make too big of a difference here. Consume goes off. Weaver does heal back up to full. It's so tanky, but there's just not enough other units here. There's not enough DPS to take these Exos down. Four more imps going to join. A bit of a Hail Mary here as they move forward. They do detonate and kill off all of those Lancers here as it's basically just Exos. 3 Lancers are left. Make that 2. But Weaver does go down as well. A few Brutes and a couple Gaunts. Does not a very likely defense seem. The Shroud Stone does go down as well here as a fresh resurgence of units joins Top's army across the map. Shrine finishing up at the third. Theory doing everything he can to just hang on to a third base. And now Top gonna try to go for the killing blow here. He does have to be careful of these imps. There are a large number here. And when you're Infernal and you're up against the corner, it's time to pull the boys. But it seems like Top is too ready for that. His Terran Micro paying huge dividends here as those Exo splits look absolutely beautiful and perfect to me. Magmadon gonna try to get into the fray here. If it can get on top of the Exos, it will be able to get something done, but unfortunately, they are unable to do so. There's too many Exos, too much DPS, and Theory taps out of game number 1. And very well played to Top, who takes Broken Crown. Fantastic stuff going for it. Bit of an early Lancer rush there, really keeping the pressure on Theory that game, and just preventing any sort of creeping. I wonder, for Theory, if maybe going for the speed camp first, trying to sneak out, not go for the resource camp, might be a bit more dangerous, not quite sure. But he decided to go for the resource camp that game, immediately losing that Gaunt. I feel like really just lost a lot of that momentum. It's tough. Broken Crown was a map for a while, guys, in the open beta, where Infernals wouldn't even creep on that map. You would just wall off, go for the third, and immediately try and get maxed out on your Luminite production and go for a drop as quickly as possible. Double Conclave openers were popular for a while. It seems like Iron Volt Conclaves are a bit more popular now. But that's only game 1 in our best of 3 here. Let's go ahead to game 2. Will Theory be able to take the game back? We'll have to wait and see. But we're going to Titan's Causeway. In the top right corner of the map here. Up a game and feeling pretty darn good. Pretty darn proud of himself. It's Top, the Vanguard player. And in the bottom left corner of the map, down a game, but looking to tie it up. It's afterMath's own Theory. Now, if you guys don't know, I'll give you a little bit more information on these players as we watch this exciting dog macro. Top, of course, hosting the Team Infernal versus Team Vanguard show match, which was a awesome show match. If you guys haven't checked that out, I think it is up on YouTube. Theory, consistently known as an Infernal who loses at least one imp in the early game to a scout. Let's see if he's able to deliver in this game. Now on the other side of the map, once again going for a very similar looking opening. For some Lancers. Now, technically, 2 different Luminites. You could go for your natural if you choose to. They're going to immediately try and go for the speed camp this game. The Gaunt has already taken so much damage down. He's actually just going to try and DPS down these creeps in order to get some Fiends and try to take that scout down. Does get a fantastic surround, though, on this Lancer here. And if he micros it just perfectly, he's probably going to be able to save... Okay, very nicely done. Almost saves all 3 of those Fiends there. Goes immediately back into creeping. I think some excellent decision-making there from Theory, choosing to not attack the Lancer with his Gaunt. As we all know, Gaunts do negative damage to Lancers. They just deal... It's like a tickle. And this is the start that Theory was looking for in the last game. A healthy number of Fiends, some good map presence, even some vision as well. Able to take the speed camp, able to pressure. Already gets an early Lancer kill. Expanding without too much to worry about. He's feeling much, much better here. A bit of a skirmish happening here. The Lancers immediately jumping once again on top of these Gaunts here. But the Fiends getting such a huge surround. This is looking fantastic here for Theory, who takes down all 3 of those Lancers. He may be able to even save that Gaunt. He does indeed. And replenishes his Fiend count. He's wanting more. He's going in, trying to get us around on these Lancers. The Fiends do so much DPS against these. Lancer's going to move out, try to get a bit of harassment damage done. Just a couple of hits, nothing too much. But again, Theory, able to control the map. Top, however, not going to give up all the speed camps without a fight here. He's going to try and get some damage done against these brutes. They split off into 2 Fiends. He is able to get all of them, all that camp killed and turned into Fiends here. And Top's got to respect the Fiends here. Lancers do so much DPS, but with the DPS, the high attack speed of these Fiends, you can turn fights in an instant. Gets a huge surround. Trying to encase them in. Does manage to get one so far. Lancers are going to stand and make a fight here. Panic Sentry goes down. Does pop the Bob overcharge in order to get the super fast building. Theory, though, not going to push his luck too far. Happy with the damage he's done already. Kills the pesky scout. Gets one of the Lancers as well. Is keeping Top in his base. And this is looking good so far for him. Definitely looking a lot nicer for him than last game was. Now we do see a biokinetics lab going down, so we can expect some exos here. Meanwhile, Theory sticking to 2 base, but goes for the Greater Shrine. I think we will probably see a Doombringer drop here again, as we don't see any early Shadow Clefts. And we certainly don't see any early Ritual Chambers. Staying 7 workers on Therium here. And just staying active and creeping the rest of the map here. Lancer's still the unit of choice for Top. You can get so much done with these units. They're so tanky, and they deal a ton of damage. As we saw in the last game, guys, if you're able to just get them on top of the Gaunts, it's such a huge blow. But it looks like Theory not afraid to take this fight here. He's got his Doombringer. He's not afraid to flex his Protoss skills, his pickup micro. A little bit more awkward with the Doombringer. You can't just, drop them out of the ship. You actually do have to land it, but you still can pop them in. It was a nice quality of life change. Thank you, Frost Giant, being able to load the Doombringer in the air, not having to drop it in order to load them. And it's just Lancers. It's Lancers all the way down. Gonna go for that health camp. Seems like this camp way more important for Vanguard than it is for Infernal. Infernal, if you're careful. I mean, for Brutes, you don't care too much. If they split into Fiends, those are super useful. And if you can just manage the white health on them correctly, then you don't really have to worry about it too much. The Doombringer here looks like it's going to get chased away by these 3 Lancers in the main. Top had these same Lancers in last game. Bit of damage done to these Bobs, but I don't think any Fiends were created here. More Lancers going to join this, just to really make sure Theory can't get too much damage done. A lot harder to attack the Natural, especially with one of the Sentries here. Sentry in the main as well. And the Lancers are moving across the map. They're going to dip into this speed camp here and get a little bit of benefit. Going to try and jump on top of these brutes, but not going to be successful. Instead, deciding to go for the 3rd base here. Will take down this Shroud Stone here. A Super Stone does get dropped. And a big fight happening. Both in range of the Shroud Stones, however. I thought for a moment that was actually blocking in Top here, but I forgot you can just walk right through those if you're a small unit. So no big deal. 4th base going down here for Theory in a bit of a cheeky position. You can either try to go for the corner base out of the way, very, very far away from your other bases, or a bit more exposed, but a double Luminite base over here. chickens. Do these turn into fiends? I actually don't know. If you attack the critters on the map, do they turn into fiends? That would be crazy if they did. Okay, and third base secured here for Top. Who looks to be just throwing down more barracks. We're going to see the very solid Exo Lancer medic build. Theory, once again, going for the drop. Looks like it might find a bit more damage here. As 8 gaunts pop out all of a sudden. Does manage to pick up here. Not actually obtaining any of the fiends. Very close on some of these units here. Top not repairing them quite yet. But we do see Exos starting to join. And Theory going to kill this meat farm. I think it was clogging up some of his units. I think this was intentional. I think that, listen, if I thought that he did that on accident, I would be all over it. I think that was intentional. I think I saw Hellborn kind of getting weirdly stuck here. So I think he did kill that. Oh my goodness. Theory pops all of those imps there and takes down so many of those Lancers. It is a bit spendy, but he pops that Hellborn Resurgence in order to replenish this this base very quickly. And that is a large number of Lancers killed there. By the way, if you make your meat farm on Shroud, you get double Animus when the pigs die. Theory told me that the other day. Look at that. Another base going down here for Theory, who is happily mining away as much Luminite as possible. Would not be too surprised to see him try to take an aggressive base from top. He's feeling comfortable. He's feeling ahead. He's got Hellborns. He's got a really large number of Brutes here. He's securing this base down with Shroud Stones. Top does not have the resources to go for any kind of Atlas siege up here, which I think would do quite well in this position. If you're able to get some Atlases on the top or on top of this ramp, with so many, with so much elevation on this map, it seems like you could get into some really cheeky positions. Nothing wrong, though, with Exo Lancer Medic. It doesn't need any help, trust me. All right, couple of armored goats here. A few Magmadons coming out here as well for Theory. Top happily moving around, just trying to stay and hold his 3 bases. Not opting to go for a 4th quite yet. Now, I believe the main starts to mine out at around 15 to 16 minutes if you've kept pretty consistent Luminite production on it. You haven't really lost any of your bobs there. I could be misremembering, but I think that's correct. If you guys know, definitely feel free to let me know. Absolutely huge army here from Theory. Mostly Brutes and Gaunts, though. Only a few Hellborn. Only a couple of Magmadons. Top gonna make use of these small path unit only. Small unit paths, that's what I meant to say. The Hellborn and Magmadons, of course, cannot go through there. The Magmadons could attack or do their stomp and just bust through there. Open that up there for them. Ooh, getting on top of 2, maybe even 3 medics immediately here. Oh my god, they move so fast, dude. That actually legitimately shocked me. I thought I sped up the game. Nope. That is fucking crazy how fast they move. It shocks me every time. I'm still not used to that. All right, a little bit of a harassment force over here. We'll find a Bob. And yeah, here we go. Theory, like I said, he's a fan of macro. He's not afraid to just sit back, take as many bases as possible, and just kind of let top attack into him. Hellborn, of course, much happier to be attacked into than to try to do the attacking. Their attack animation, ooh, I feel like I maybe missed something here. Does take a good while. Top here, though, going for a bit of an attack. Looking pretty nice for him. The Shroud Stone getting placed. The Super Stone. Magmadon coming in from the back, however, will get taken out by that Exo immediately. Top doing some very fancy Siege Atlas play, but here's the Hellborn taking advantage of that elevation. These Exos are going to try to get on there immediately. Theory dropping the totem so that he can start regenerating white health as he's attacking here. And this is a huge concave from Theory. It looks like Top will get the better end of this trade, though. And now Top is going to try to take the high ground himself. Like I was talking about before, if you can get a couple of Atlases here, and this is more than a couple. Now, mind you guys, you can drop them sieged already. And do some very fancy stuff there. Now, this has got to work for Top. This is about as all in as he can get. He's only on 3 bases. The main Luminite is mined out. This is everything he has. He's not going to have many more units if he can create anything. He's got to make these Atlases do work, and they're performing. Taking down 2 Brutes and some Hellborns there. But Theory playing very patiently here. Except that one Hellborn who wanted to charge in. Top, though, has got to play carefully. One misstep, if he gets enough imps on top of this army and detonates on top of a majority of these Exos, that's it. Theory, happy to let this base go down here. Waits until he's got enough units, some Shadow Flyers, and a Flayed Dragon in the air, pulling all of these imps off of the base here. These, remember, imps that aren't mining, they're your Banelings. The most terrifying unit that Infernals have are the 12 imps that were mining Luminite when you kill their shrine. It's not the Flayed Dragon, guys. It's not the Hellborn. It's those 12 imps. Because they got nothing left to lose. They're going to die anyways. Might as well set themselves on fire. All right, Top working himself into this corner of the map here. Is Theory going to go for a defense? It does not look like it. It looks like he's instead going to try and take some value on the other side of the map here. Now, these Fiends, along with the Flayed Dragon, who breathes on all of these Bobs, mind you, they will spawn 2 Fiends per kill while the Flayed Dragon is around here. So many Exos here from Top, but again, he's got to play so carefully. Forces Top to come back and defend. Top cannot afford to lose these bases. He has no other expansions here. He's basically just 2 base mining. He still has Asterium mining in the main, but it is quickly depleting. When you see the workers in red like this, that means that you are mining the Therium faster than it is being reproduced. He does still have the Therium mining over here in a scrapyard, so he's not out of it quite yet, but a giant attack happening over here. Flayed Dragon goes in, breathes on all the Exos. These Hellborns getting absolutely massive splash damage done. The Fiend's going to run forward, backing away as the Atlases get their shots off. Now, there is the Atlas upgrade that does damage over time when it hits the ground. Top is all in on these Atlases getting damage done here, and they're doing a good job. Dropping 4 atlases, letting them all shoot once, and then picking them up. That is comedy. Theory is desperately trying to get top worked into a corner here. Ooh, these atlases getting a lot of these imps killed, though. Now, once again, Theory deciding he has enough bases. He knows top does not have the infrastructure to support this. If he just goes for building damage, if he just goes for attacking on the other side of the map, top needs to respect it, because Theory absolutely will win a base trade at this point. Some big Hellborn attacks coming out here. Supercharges his Exos, trying to get out of position. Target fires down those Shadow Flyers to keep his Atlases and his Flyers safe here. But this is the corner that Theory was hoping for. Top is smushed up against his own buildings. He's microing these Atlases as hard as he can. The Exos numbers are dwindling, however. It's going to take a lot more than just 4 Atlases to take this game. All those Fiends going down. There's only a few left. And GG. Top not able to hold on there. Theory finding the angle he needed. These are some massive... Yeah, I think this is the max rank Atlas you can be. Yeah, on 2 of them. And the rest of them are also pretty high ranked as well. But GG, well played. Theory playing one of the most patient games I've ever seen in Infernal play. Well played, sir. Well done. Tying it up 1-1. That means we get to go to a game 3. There's nothing I want more than to go to a game 3. And I think before we talk too much more, I'm going to go ahead and plug afterMath one more time. Guys, if you want to see more content like this, if you want to see more afterMath Arena, please let us know. !afterMath in the chat will get you there. Follow us. Make sure you can know when there are more upcoming events like this. A lot of things planned for the future. You guys are not going to want to miss it. And I think with that shill, let's just go straight away into game 3. You guys want to know how this ends. I want to know how this ends. There we are. That's what we were looking for. The game doesn't always show the loading screen. It does on some maps, it seems. And it doesn't on some other maps. But let's go ahead and introduce our players. Getting a little sneak peek of what we've got coming up here in PartinG versus Probe. But we are focused intently on the map before us here. They're tied up. Vanguard in the bottom left corner. We've got top. And the Infernal in the top right corner. We've got Theory. Going for a quick Conclave opener on Theory's side of the map. And once again, we see just a cute, friendly dog just coming to check things out. He doesn't want to hurt nobody. Now, for a while, it was very popular to take this first imp and actually attack the trees in the back of the speed camp, so you could immediately get to this resource camp here. Is that what he is going to try to do, or is he just going to go straight away for the shrine? The shrine it is. Theory checking the trees, making sure there's not a nasty dog surprise waiting for him. And gonna start creeping the speed camp here. Very nice creep start for Infernals on this map. Immediately getting a direct pathway to the speed camp. It's in fact the closest camp. I think besides the vision camp, this one might just be a bit closer. Top going for a quick expansion themselves. Forgoing a barracks, forgoing a habitat, all of that immediately just going to go for an expansion here. Theory Shrine, not even halfway done. Of course, top does get the benefit of having his Bobs all work together. while chanting, "Can we build it?" Yes. Yes, we can. A little bit of action going on over here. Almost losing this gaunt. But Top pulling the dog back so that they do not lose it to some fiends. Staying on the one conclave so far. Double barracks on the way. And this is rallied over to the vision camp. So they look like they are going to try and go take that vision camp for them. Meanwhile, Dog staying active on the map. Third base coming up here from Theory here relatively soon, it looks like. Just going to keep that Gaunt production healthy. Might be able to get the scout here. Looks like indeed they will be able to. Some fancy footwork. Going to try to take a fiend out for their troubles, but unfortunately, the good whiffer goes down. Couple of Lancers going to take the vision camp down here. And it's just going to be a very, looks like typical opener here so far for Vanguard. Can I just start spamming Lancers? Going to get that economy going. Eventually, potentially, move into that Exo medevac. Or, sorry, medic. Wrong game, Apop. Wrong game. Now, Secluded Grove, we did get to see some absolutely incredible games during the EGC of people fighting this center point of the map. Obviously, such an important position. If you're able to take it, it is secluded, one could say, by a grove. So you do have to attack through these trees here in order to get to the double Luminite, double Therium mining that lies inside. A massive number of Gaunts coming out here. We're going triple Conclave for Theory. Triple Conclave. My goodness. Okay. I don't think... I've certainly seen double Conclave Iron Vault. Never in my years. Oh, that's not true. I have seen... It's quadruple Conclave. I think I know what he's doing. And I think when Top sees this, I think he might know as well. I'll wait and see if I'm correct here. There's so many Gaunts. And they deal so little damage. Oh, might be able to get a Fiend here from that infestation. Might be able to. It's still going. It's still ticking. It's not anymore. It's safe. Now, my guess here, my theory, if you will, is that he's going to go for a modified, what he has coined, the Parting Imp Bust, a.k.a. the Pimp Bust. That's my guess. I'm not quite sure. I don't know exactly what that build looks like. All I know is it's a bunch of Gaunts. And then you get the imp upgrade and you take all of your imps off of one of your bases and go. But he's not making any tier 2 structure, so I don't actually think that's what it's going to be. Third base going down here for Top. Keeps it safe with the old sentry. Not too much else so far. Does pop the Therium over here. Keeps, again, there's 2 Lancers in the main, just in case it's a drop play. The Lancers, however, coming on the other side of the map. Not seeing any sort of Doom Bringer. So feeling confident enough with the couple Lancers back at home to go in and try and get some Gaunt damage done. So fast and so tanky. There's the Doom Bringer that we were thinking about earlier. And gonna put a shrine down at this Therium here. I kind of like this play, putting the shrine down before you pop this. That means that the shrine is gonna be as close as possible. If you pop this Therium earlier, you might have to make your shrine like over here. Double Doombringer. Okay, that's what we are missing. Because one Doombringer, lame. Who cares? 2 Doombringers? Now we're talking. Now we're cooking. Okay. But this could come at an ill-fated time, as there are a ton of Lancers coming across the map here. Only one Brute to protect them. Now there is double Shroud Stone. The Gaunts. Good pullback here from Theory. And here it is. The double Gaunt. The split. Gaunts in the main. Gaunts at the third. Only Exos in the main to defend against this. The Gaunts, however, kind of moving into them. Gonna lose them immediately. Tries to go for the pickup here. Will successfully grab them. Losing a few Gaunts here, but maybe even an accident. I don't know if Theory intended for those Gaunts to get split onto the high ground. Popping that Bob overcharge keeps them primarily safe, predominantly safe. But we still have 2 Doombringers on the map here. These can just be used to go around and try to creep. But the Lancers jumping on top of these Gaunts so quick. Ooh, losing so many of those Gaunts there. About 5 of them going down. Yeah, and look at how quickly, though, this base is able to mine Therium. Immediately. Top destroying the path into the secluded grove here. Pulling all the Exos, all the Lancers, and a bunch of Bobs off of the third. He's going to go for it. Whoever can hold the center of the map, if you're able to get some good mining time off of it, so hard to come back after your opponent has just had an accelerated amount of mining. Not impossible. And as top gets set up, Theory starts to move in. Magmadon clears the way. But there's only one Hellborn against so many Lancers and so many Exos. Lancer Exo gonna move forward, take down the Vision Camp here for Theory. Theory, so many Gaunts. Why so many Gaunts, Theory? Why are there so many? Now, Theory is the one on the back pedal as far as macro goes. His economy is a little worse for wear in comparison to top here, who is now mining from double Luminite. Theory's got to do something soon. The longer he waits, the more disastrous it could be. Trying to get this Magmadon into position. It does decide to start the Stompy Dance, but backs up pretty quickly. Kills one of the Brutes. Fills the white health back up on the Magmadon. No stun upgrade currently. Unfortunate. Is it being researched? I don't know, but I don't want to look away from this fight to find out. I'm going to look away for a moment. It is. All right. The Shrine comes down to give a little patch of Shroud here. Oh, but the Doombringer gets out of position. The Exos snipe it immediately. Look at how much damage, dude. It's so quick. Oh, the Gaunts moving forward maybe just a little bit further than they should have there. Oh, but it looks like it's going to be okay. Popping all of those Brutes into Fiends, getting that extra DPS on those Lancers. If you're able to get those Lancers out of the way and gets your Gaunts right on top of those Exos, you might be able to turn the fight. Mass Gaunt really snowballs out of control, but you got to get those first few deaths kind of cascading into Fiend production. If you can get Fiend production going, that means that your enemies are going to start attacking those Fiends and not your actual good units. That gives you even more DPS, more time. Once again, so many Gaunts. We have a few Imps being pulled over here, but are they getting blocked? They are. A couple of the Lancers do go down, but these 3 Imps in the middle of the Gaunts aren't able to make connections. Oh, it's a travesty. I think if those Imps were able to connect, this fight would be going a lot better for Theory here. It's only Gaunts remaining as he's trying to get some of these Lancers killed. Shrine does go down. Gonna start refilling that white health. The Fiend production does begin. Medic jumps into the Sentry to start AoE healing. Some Hellborn damage coming out here. But again, these Lancers are just so tanky versus these Gaunts. It's like they're throwing little toilet paper rolls at them. Theory's not giving up yet, though. He's taking the 4th. Transferring a bunch of his Imps over from his Therium mining. He's got to try to hold this base. He cannot afford to lose it. It's so close. to top space here, and he goes for a Lancer Scout. He sees the imps running back and forth. He knows Theory has the space here. And it's already been cleared. Look at this. The way has already been opened up here. Top cleared this in advance. I must have missed that. I don't know when he did that. But he can just sneak in so easily, and he's going to do exactly that here. Theory is going to lose this base. His units are completely out of position against this. I don't think he noticed that these trees were opened up already. Exos start DPSing down. The Super Shroud Stone does get dropped. He's going to commit for the Shrine. Gets it. Doesn't even lose really a Lancer. Theory throws the Shrine down once again here. Does he throw down any extra Shroud Stones? Doesn't look like it right now, but he's going to have his units a bit better position. Flayed Dragon does come out. That's 300 Animus and 400 right there. Big investment here. Once again, though, Shrine gets picked off. Does get the cancel, however. Fast fingers from Theory. But every minute the game ticks on. This is just getting more and more value for Top here. In game number 3, tied up. Whoever wins this wins their show match. I love this from Top, just keeping one Lancer at each of these corner bases. He has exactly perfect information on the economy of Theory here. He knows he's on 3 bases. As long as he can keep him from getting that 4th, he'll be in a really good spot here. A little bit of Bob damage going on here at the cost of imps. Not as much as I'd like to see. And Top is going to go in for the attack. A big mass infestation coming down, though. Top does need to be careful. There's a Flayed Dragon. Mind you, you get double Fiend production off of every infested unit, but I think there might just be a bit too much DPS here. The Flayed Dragon is going to get sniped and picked off. Potentially. No, it is managed to be saved. The imps run in, take down so many of those Exos. Some really big hits here, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Theory, as most of his army does get taken out. His Flayed Dragon is still alive. Mind you, it can suck up all that infestation in order to heal its white health. But unfortunately, I think this might be it. A Flayed Dragon can do miracles, but is it going to be able to pull this one out here as Top is starting to attack the 3rd and his main source of Therium? He is not. Theory GG's out, and that is going to be it for the best of 3 show match. Theory versus Top. Vanguard reigning supreme in the aftermath arena. Number 1. Who can bring down these Vanguards, dude? Seemingly no one so far. Extremely well played from both our players there. Top, wonderful micro, wonderful positioning, able to secure that middle base on Secluded Grove. And as soon as you're able to mine from that, even just for a little while, the difference in economy that makes, you're just able to pump out so many more units than your opponent, especially keeping Theory from taking that 4th all game. Yeah, that was just a brutal game for Theory there. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick AFK, and when we return, we have got our prime time games coming up. PartinG versus Probe in a best of 5. Is PartinG going to be able to take down Vanguard for the aftermath arena, or is Vanguard just going to have a clean sweep all the way through? You'll have to wait. You'll have to see. Guys, we'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you in just a bit. And as an Infernal fan myself, I gotta say, Lancers are pretty good. But we have got 1 show match remaining. Congratulations to our players so far for playing such incredible games already. But I would be lying if I didn't say I was super excited for this next one. We have got PartinG versus Probe happening right here, right now. Can PartinG take down the Vanguard, or will they reign supreme in the first ever aftermath arena? Guys, !aftermath to get you over to our socials and make sure you're following so that you don't miss any upcoming content, guys. You wouldn't want to miss out. If you're just joining us, we've had both of our best of threes actually go to game 3, which is awesome. That none of them have just been sweeps one way or the other. So, yeah. Let's just get into it, guys. I've got nothing else to say. Let's watch some PartinG versus Probe, the clash of titans coming back from EGC, butting heads once again. And here we go, starting off in Broken Crown. You know him. You love him. He's your Infernal player in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. The big boy himself. It's PartinG. And his opponent spawning in the top right corner, making Vanguard look absolutely busted. We've got Probe. Probe, arguably the best Australian Stormgate player. Azure up there as well, I will say. Extremely high level, not only in Vanguard, but Infernal as well. Has a very deep understanding of both races. Has played both to an extremely high level. And is one of the few players to beat PartinG more consistently on the ladder. So I will say this is going to be about as close as it can get, I think. PartinG going for a very quick expand over to his natural here, taking his injured imp, making it into a shrine. Probe bringing his scout back in order to take that flower and heal his doggo back up to full. Now, PartinG did put down the Conclave here, but he's actually not making any Gaunt whatsoever. Probe going to pull 3 of his bobs as well and make his natural, seeing how quickly PartinG has expanded here. No barracks, no Therium mining out of him. PartinG going to open up with a second Conclave. Now, guys, this isn't wasted production, mind you. As you know, Infernals do get charges on their units, kind of like a mix between Warpgate and Zerg, I would say. It's like the best of both worlds, one could say. Iron Vault, Meat Farm going to come up over here as well. Double barracks out of Probe, who is going to be going for what I would imagine would be some Lancers. We've seen Lancers do absolutely phenomenally in the other games. But no creeping out of PartinG quite yet. He waits until he has 3 Gaunts and decides to go for the speed camp across the map. Does not go for the closer one. He does not elect to take these trees down to open up to his third base quite yet. Wants to leave those blocked off. And instead decides to go for a double camp strategy. Just gets a little bit of damage done on the vision camp here as he walks by with one of his Gaunts. And is going to take this speed camp down. Probe on the other side of the map, immediately going for this health camp. We've seen basically all of our Vanguards leverage this health camp. But Probe is the only one who has taken it seemingly so early. Now, mind you, I think the reason for this is because it lasts for the entire duration that the camp is down. So having this available early on, you're not losing any of its value. It's not a temporary buff. That's going to stay here for the next 4 minutes of the game. And 5 Gaunts now on the field here. This double Conclave opener gets you so many Gaunts so early in the game. Really sets you up for a super strong Doombringer drop. But he's got to be careful against these Lancers here. We've seen Lancers absolutely shred. And look at that. There's already a Doombringer available here. Probe. What does he decide to do? Is he going to go across the map? Is he going to try to defend? He's just going to pick up and get some damage done. Trying to take that scout down. Such a fast Doombringer. Sub 4 minutes. Double Brute and Fiends available to defend against these Lancers. The Doombringer now going to go across the map here. And he's going to try to just defend. Nope, brings the Doombringer back. But mind you, does not pop the teleportation ability. Fiend's just going to run across the map instead, get a scout done instead of losing them against these Lancers here. Lancer speed upgrade, but big pickups here. Absolutely sick micro from these gaunts. Oh my god, look at this. PartinG, popping them in and out. Showing exactly how much value you can get out of a Doombringer and some gaunts. Okay, pulls them out for good this time. Trying to regen up that white health. Lancer's just trying to get some damage done against that Doombringer, but the Doombringer white health as well is pretty sizable. Third base going to go down here for Probe. Third base halfway done here for PartinG. Once again, Probe making good use of that health camp. Now, a Ritual Chamber coming up here for PartinG. That does unlock Weavers. You do also get Spriggans out of this, I will say. Spriggans certainly not seen very often, especially versus Vanguard. But some harassment damage coming from the other side of the map here as PartinG gets his gaunts right on top of those bobs. The Lancer's going to come through and try to get this shrine as well. Okay. Teleports his Doombringer back to the shrine. His gaunts pop out here. Are we going to see that micro once again? Yes, we are. Almost taking a bit of damage on that Doombringer, though. We need to be careful. The Brutes are all going down. Drops the Super Shroud Stone. Now, the Lancer speed upgrade, though, means... Okay, he will lose one of the Lancers there. He's going to retreat to the health camp. Is he going to try to take this? He is. PartinG, though, moves forward. Going to try to get as much damage as he can done before that health buff is dropped here. More units coming out. 3 Brutes down once again. Doombringer going to pick back up. Pulls the imps away. Shroud Stone, the Super Shroud, is still active. 4th base going up for PartinG all the while. PartinG just try to micro back here, trying to get as much damage done with these gaunts as possible. But Probe doing such an amazing job, putting in the Lancers that are damaged into the health camp, fighting with the Lancers that are full HP. This is so sick. A little bit of a miss rally there, but again, not too much damage done to those Lancers. He's going to join this health camp. And again, guys, this is active for another 200 seconds. This is Probe's fight to engage and disengage as he chooses. It's going to be really hard to get a good angle on him here. Okay, a couple of imps popping out here, killing those Lancers. A few more also going off. And it looks like Probe maybe overstaying his welcome just a little bit here. Losing a few more of those Lancers, but again, with that speed upgrade, so long as he doesn't get them cornered, so long as he doesn't let those imps connect, he can really take that fight as much or as little as he would like. I don't see what got put into this Doombringer. I think it was some imps, though. PartinG, I would say, sort of popularizing the very, very quick Flame On imp ability upgrade. Seeing him bust out a couple of very unique and interesting strategies with it. Yep, that confirms for me. Those are probably imps in there. If those were gaunts, I think they would have landed. But he wants to go for juicier hits, perhaps. And actually just decides to fly on through. Oh, they are so oversaturated over here. Oh my god! This is an absolute disaster! Oh, and he finds the hits he was looking for. Probe here, pulling away as many bobs as possible. I don't have a very accurate number on exactly how many were killed, but they were so clumped up there. There's got to be a lot of them going down. And here they are, the 12 imps. They're here to take a fight. And he activates all of them, in fact. Goes in, runs in for the Luminite mine and takes out so many of those Exos. A lot of Lancers going down as well, and the ones that are remaining are low HP. These Gaunts are fighting at full HP, full strength, now able to turn these into Fiends. A couple of Bobs getting in the mix, activates the Shroud Infestation ability, hits a few of those Exos as well. The Gaunts are running forward with their speed camp buff. They're able to keep up with these Exos and their Lancers. He's working him into a corner here. And he's now finally on top of these Exos. Now, there is... one of the Exos is inside of this sentry here. But that is going to be it as PartinG takes game 1 in our best of 5. GG, well played. Absolutely phenomenal. Insane Doombringer micro out of PartinG there. But on the other side, the health camp restoration on those Lancers, making an already immortal unit seem even more unkillable. Wow, absolutely fantastic micro on both sides there. Very well played. PartinG taking game number 1. But let's go ahead and jump in, guys, straight away into game number 2. This is a best of 5. So we have, at minimum, 2 more games coming up here, guys. Game number 2. Let's start it right now. You're not here for me. You are here to watch some high-level Stormgate, and that is exactly what we are going to see. Here on Secluded Grove, map number 2. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, he's down 1 game so far, but he's absolutely not out. It is Probe, your blue Vanguard player. And at the top right corner of the map, doing the PartinG Imp Bust, it's PartinG, the Infernal player. Secluded Grove, I think one of my favorite maps of the pool. I like how active the creeping is for this map. I like the base split. I like the base spread. There's a lot of very interesting plays that I saw on this map previously. Now, this is interesting seeing Vanguard do this. So on the map, guys, there are also these little clusters of Luminite and of Therium. There's one right there. So what Probe is doing is he's trying to find them all on the map first before PartinG can take any of them. Each of them gives you 10 Luminite or 10 Therium. So the Therium one's a little bit more valuable for the Infernals at the beginning of the game. Luminite, of course, still a wonderful resource to get. PartinG taking his expansion here and just sitting with 1 Gaunt. Goes for a second Conclave. So maybe a similar opener to what we've seen already. Probe certainly following suit here. Oh, a little bit of a mistake, though, actually. I think I did miss this. I believe he overcharged his Bobs, and this one maybe didn't get the overcharge. I could be mistaken, though. I could be wrong on that. But it looks like this barracks obviously finished way faster. That could have been intentional, though. I missed the beginning of that. We'd have to rewind, and I gotta tell you, I'm just not going to do that. Okay, double Conclave Iron Vault. Bit more of a solid creeping setup here. Especially if you're worried about Lancers potentially coming in and creepjacking. Or even potentially some dogs coming through. The dog's wonderful at killing a solo Gaunt who is just trying to take this speed camp. But no, 3 Gaunt's going to come through, a 4th Gaunt on the way, and a 5th Gaunt even. As I think we might see, again, something similar to game number 1, potentially a fast Doombringer. You could see how effective that micro was from PartinG, able to keep those Gaunts alive well after what they would have normally. Takes the speed camp, but does not elect to move any of his units except for that 1 Fiend in there. Probe gonna go ahead once again, take down this health camp, have that accessible to him early on in the game. As PartinG moves over to start creeping the vision camp. Now, Greater Shrine already done. Once again, sub 4 minute Greater Shrine. And you can see that's really possible here because PartinG likes to go 7 workers on Therium very early. Not many workers on the natural Luminite. Moving his gaunts across the map here. Probe, however, 6 Lancers, full HP. Yeah, and it looks like the Doombringer is already here. PartinG takes the vision camp. Moves his Doombringer across to intercept and pick these gaunts up here. But back at home, not much available for PartinG to defend against this. He hasn't made any units from his Iron Vault, so there may be a few brutes available. We'll have to see if he creates anything here. Yep, couple brutes coming out. 3 brutes. Gonna go ahead and try and defend against this here. Once again, gaunts getting into the mix. Not afraid to get up and personal. PartinG knows his micro is solid. He can pop them back into that Doombringer whenever he needs to. The Lancer speed upgrade hitting here. There's no health camp nearby, though, for him to dive in and out of. Not able to really get that strategy that he was able to on Broken Crown here on Secluded Grove. Now, the health camp is nearby, so he doesn't have to run all the way back across the map here. He can just go ahead and take this. Now, PartinG has 1 imp hiding out over at the corner here, ready to take a third when PartinG commands it to be so. Looks like we had a double cancel of some design here. I missed what that was. Okay. PartinG now opening up that Therium. Probe going to try to go for an attack once again. But nothing too serious on either side here. I don't think either side is looking to really commit too hard. I say that, but just as a few more Lancers enter the mix, Probe might be looking to take a fight here a bit more permanently. But 5 more gaunts now entering the mix. These Lancers jumping on top of them straight away. PartinG getting caught a little bit. Picks up the Doombringer, picks up those gaunts. But the Lancers are so fast. Now there's no imp upgrade. They are going to kill this Shroud Stone off. The gaunts microing back. But there's so few gaunts available. These Lancers have done so much damage there. It seems like every time I underestimate exactly how fast these Lancers can go because they just seem to instantly get on top of any unit they feel like. And Probe doing such a good job keeping these Lancers alive. Look how low HP they are, man. And they're just going to heal back up to full in this health camp here. This health camp, of course, getting buffed somewhat recently, a week or 2 ago. Now, I don't even think it got buffed. I think it just got fixed. It wasn't restoring the correct amount of HP, but look at these Lancers now. Back up, ready to fight once again. The Doombringer gonna try to go across the map and get some kind of pressure, some kind of damage done. PartinG losing 1 of these gaunts so far. Pulls some imps. Now, is this a fake or does he have the upgrade? There is a ritual chamber in the back here. So the imp upgrade may be available. I'm not sure. We can't see exactly what upgrades are on and what grades are not. Upgrades aren't. Exo, though, starting to attack this Doombringer here. Doesn't look like PartinG really able to find the damage that he wants to get done here. He's not going to lose this Doombringer, but, you know, it's unfortunate. It's a pretty costly investment for Infernal to go to so early on in the game. Scouts out the 4th, sees there's nothing there. As Probe now controls the map, really restricting PartinG's movements. Another Iron Vault coming up here. 3rd base almost finish up here. And gonna finish now. Couple of side attacks here. Bit of a run by. Imps are going to activate. Do manage to take down 2 of those Lancers, which were upgraded. They had the veterancy. And the Super Shroud Stone able to take down 1 more of those Lancers there. Now, the health camp, though, very near this 3rd base. Probe feeling a little bit more comfortable to just dive in here, heal up for a little while, and rally these Exos over to his Lancers. and start taking a real fight, especially now that the Super Shroud Stone has been activated. Now, if he fights in range of this, of course, PartinG might be able to take this fight. But he's got to be so careful with his gaunts here. He knows exactly how fast these Lancers are. Okay, speeds up the gaunts here. The imps do get pulled. He's going to activate the Flame On ability here and trying to get on top of these Exos. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the connections he's looking for here, as now the gaunts activate their stim, essentially, giving them plus 50% move speed. But the Lancers diving on top of them immediately, making it so hard for him to get anything done, and that is going to be it. GG. Gets called by PartinG as Probe takes game number 2, Secluded Grove. Well done, well played, Probe. Once again, with just such precise Lancer timings, hitting right as that upgrade hits, taking those health camps and really just getting maximum value out of those health camps all game. I'm very impressed. Just extremely consistent. Super, super well played, Probe. Nicely done. But that's only game number 2 in our best of 5. And I'm excited to go into game number 3. I don't know about you guys, but these games so far have been absolutely incredible. I could not ask for better games to cast. And if you guys want to keep enjoying this sort of content, once again, I'll let you know. !afterMath will get you to that Twitter. It will get you to where we'll post any updates, any future events. So make sure you guys go and follow and check it out. But now, let's go into game number 3. PartinG. Probe. Tying it up. And what map are we going to go to? Well, I actually don't know because it's still in the loading screen. Fantastic. It's my favorite. It's your favorite. We're on Jagged Maw, baby. Oh, hell yeah. In the top right corner, looking to make the games 2-1. It is your Vanguard player, Probe. Which must mean that in the bottom right corner of the map, he's your blue Infernal player. It's PartinG. Jagged Maw. By far the most volatile map in the pool so far. Second, maybe only to Titan's Causeway in terms of of map volatility for the players. Conclave goes down here for PartinG. These first few structures of the game can really tell you what these players are going to go for. Are they going to go for a regular expand, try to creep the map? Are they going to try to go for the siege camp? It so far has seemed like every game has relied on taking these siege camps as early as possible. And who is PartinG to argue with the meta here? He is in fact going to go for the Shroud Stone as well. Probe going to go ahead and expand to his natural. And PartinG starts to creep. The slow and arduous process until that Shroud Stone gets finished. Second Gaunt going to join the game. Barracks going down here. Only going for 1, though. The other games so far, Probe has elected to go for double Barracks play. This time only going for the 1. Keeping the Scout active. He, of course, is absolutely aware of what's meta on this map. He's got no surprises here that PartinG is starting already to go for this siege camp. He's got the Shroud Stone down. He knows exactly what's up. So I'm very, very curious to see what is Probe's response to this. What is he going to do? He's not gone for any sentries quite yet. He's just building up Lancers here. Now, PartinG hasn't cleared out the middle yet, actually. So that means that this siege camp will take the long route. Parting scouting with his Fiend, seeing that the siege camp is not taken. On Probe side, scouts into the main, just sees the one barracks. Sees the double sentry, well, sees the one sentry so far. Interesting that he decides to not go and break the middle. He's happy to just creep around the map. Okay. This is a bit different. Now, Probe, he's not aware of this. He's putting down sentries to try to defend against a catapult that he thinks is going to come from the low ground, but it's not. It's going to go all the way around. And, well, these sentries are, they're not going to do anything. Oh, disaster. Oh, no, dude. It's the anti-meta build. Probe goes, well, wait a second. How did this siege camp get over here? This catapult. Pops a Bob into here. Gets the Doombringer with it as well. Oh my gosh. Picks up all of his gaunts. Picks up the Fiends. Gonna go for the resource camp while he's here. Now he's got to be careful. This, the Sentry plus Lancer combo is extremely high DPS. With the splash. And this is going to be able to just kind of infinitely go, it looks like here. It is doing just a bit more damage than it's healing, but really not by much. So this looks like this was just kind of part of PartinG's plan. Not to really commit off of this siege camp and go for some huge committal play. Looks like we teleported, but I think we maybe targeted the wrong structure. So we actually did not teleport here. But now there's just 3 sentries over here. Kind of awkwardly placed, and they really did not get too much done. I mean, they soaked the catapult. But besides that, not really able to accomplish anything else here. Now the third base is almost finished up from PartinG. This map, of course, excellent for Doombringers. Keeping active with the scouting. He's got a Fiend over at this third. He's checking the double Luminite third. Gets the Gaunts into position here. Probe not keeping the Lancers into the main as he's done in the past 2 games. So able to find actually a little bit of damage here. Will get taken out quite quickly. But just going to try to grab whatever damage he can. The health camp, mind you, so far away on this map. And Probe absolutely cannot afford to leave his base currently. Excellent micro here. Bob overcharge does get popped. 1 Exo trying to bring the Doombringer down, but not going to happen. Okay, and a ton of Bobs now going over to the third. Yep, just a couple of Bobs here and there getting taken out. So PartinG's Doombringer finding a bit more damage than it did in the past game and already going on to a 4th base here. Gonna try to secure this one early. Now, you do have in the center of the map these really crazy bases. Double Luminite, double Therium, double Luminite. But it's a bit more available than it was in Secluded Grove. A little less effective than those. Okay, Probe once again going to go for that health camp. So valuable. Huge for Lancers. Whose health pool is so massive. Siege camps not getting taken yet. And as I say that, we have a double Doombringer, I think, going to drop onto the siege camp. Potentially? No. Okay. Looks like we're just going to try and go over. And yeah, we scout the health camp here. Figuring that's where the Lancers are going to be at. Now this brute here attacking a building. There is a little bit of AI weirdness that can happen sometimes where your units favor attacking buildings over actual units. But again, a little bit of damage done. Health camp so nearby, though, I don't think Probe cares too much. And teleporting those Doombringers back to the main. Yeah, right back to the main. Kind of an effective strategy, honestly. Bringing all the Exos and Lancers out, teleporting back to the... I don't know what's going on here. Teleporting back to the main, and then just going straight away to your opponent's main. I like that. That's very cheeky. Okay, Probe has a long walk back to home. As a double Doombringer drop, they try to heal up that base here. One of the Doombringers does go down, but the Gaunts are right on top of these Bobs. Mind you, the Bob overcharge did already get used. PartinG tries to pick up as many of those Gaunts as possible. Exos will defend against this. As the Lancers are coming to the other side of the map here. They're going to immediately try to go for the health camp, but find that there is a full base here. And they have already got Flame on Imps. 2 Lancers going down there. Oh, and that was their Veteran Lancer as well. Lancer speed upgrade is now finished here. Doombringer going to go for a main drop once again. Brute Hellborn. Coming over to defend. Does this Lancer manage to get away? It absolutely does. I wonder if Hellborn can actually attack the siege camp from up here. I feel like they certainly must be able to, if you have vision. PartinG staying super active with the Doombringer. Making sure he knows exactly how many bases Probe is on. Now we're in a lot of Hellbrutes here. Ritual Chamber complete. Do we have a Shadow Cleft? We must. I don't know where it is. There it is. I'm just blind. Okay, PartinG just going to try to control the vision camp here. Now, of course, this vision camp, super useful, because you can actually see if your opponent is going for their siege camp or not. You get really good vision. And I feel like a couple of Hellborn up here as well. It's able to attack and siege down onto this camp. Center of the map, super valuable to be taken by either of these players. Okay, PartinG. Gonna go for some expansions here. Taking his side of the map already. Now it's time to take the middle. He's got the vision camp, checking for a fourth base. Sees nothing. Decides to go and poke into the third slightly. Yes. Will do so. All right, pops the shield. Onto this sentry here. A couple of brutes. Gonna go ahead and pop into fiends. There is already an Atlas over here. Atlas. Target fires down. The Gaunts in the back line there. Excellent micro coming out from Probe. We saw the sick pickup micro in the other games from top. This is the first game we've seen Probe make an Atlas. The fact that you can pick up and drop a sieged Atlas, kinda crazy. Okay, health camp getting taken once again. Not too many Lancers. But now transitioning into Exo Medic with just some Lancer tank frontline. Atlas in the back, some Atlas drops. Always cool to see. And now PartinG is definitely playing more for the middle of the map here. Here are those Atlas drops we were talking about. A shield going down, however, on the dropship. Barely hanging on there. I mean, a scrap of HP left on this thing. Picks up both Atlases. Excellent micro. As he saves both of them. And doesn't even lose the ship. Okay, PartinG has now cleared out the center of the map. Of any of these rocks. Okay, here's where the early game sentries might actually get some stuff done. But the Hellborn more than happy to siege at range. Atlases, however, shelling from the high ground. These unfortunate Bobs picking a terrible time to try to take their fourth base. as most of them getting turned into fiends. The shrine popping down, giving them some white health back. PartinG happy to back off for now, not losing any of his Hellborn, just losing some brutes. Opening up the field here. Atlases managed to get one shot off here. Magmadon's moving a little bit closer. I didn't see, do we have the stun upgrade? We're going to walk forward, we're going to find out. No, we're not. Meanwhile, mind you, during all of this, PartinG on so many bases, these Hellborns just shelling in to these Exos one at a time here. Shadow Flyers flying around trying to find that dropship, but not finding anything to slam into. Only 5 medics remain and a couple of sentries. As Gaunt's attack the side base over here. Probe taps out, says that's enough. Let's go into game number 4. Really, really, really sick metagame there. Playing off the the expected siege camp rush where you kill the camp, drop the Shroud Stone, you clear the center rock so you can immediately get on top of your opponent's base and start shelling it down. PartinG saying, no, I know what your response is to that. You're going to drop a bunch of sentries and just put Lancers in there. I won't be able to do anything. This time says, I'll go the long way. I'll just creep while I walk along here. No big deal. I'll take the vision camp. And I'll attack you from an angle that you're not expecting at a time you're certainly not expecting. And then just keeping Probe on the back line with the double Doombringer drops, taking every map available to, every base available to him here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansions. Extremely heavy macro style on Jagged Maw. Probably, again, the map with the, I would say, lowest average win time. I would say most of the games I've seen on this map end before 5 minutes. But wonderful, that's game number 3. PartinG now up 2-1. But he still has to get another win in order to claim victory against Probe. Let's go into game number 4 and see if he is going to be able to take it here. We'll find out. We'll just have to wait and see. Where are they taking us now in this roller coaster of emotions? Certainly one of the most interesting Jagged Maw games I've seen in a while. But now, guys, it's time to go back to Secluded Grove. Now, this is the map that Probe took off of PartinG to start with. I believe we do have loser picks. So this is, I believe, Probe's pick. He's coming back to Secluded Grove once again, running his dog around. Gonna try to find all the Therium, all the Luminite clumps. Not really concerned with what PartinG is doing on his side of the map. But we've got PartinG up 2-1 in the top right corner of the map, playing the Red Infernals. And his opponent coming back to Secluded Grove, coming back to his home, if you will. Probe, the Vanguard player. I actually don't know how many of these chunks spawn on the map. But Probe absolutely knows where every one of them can possibly spawn. They don't have guaranteed spawn locations, so they won't always spawn in the exact same spots, I don't believe. Going for that fast expansion. PartinG doing the same. Opening up single conclave, going into a double, but not making any gaunts. Only, I think, making this in case there is some kind of early dog aggression, early dog rush, if you will. But probably knows Probe much more interested in getting the economic lead this game by using his scout to go and get some Therium and Luminite. Okay. Parting now. Gonna move down to the speed camp. Probe this time. Might try to do some dog harassment. Maybe won't. Yeah, looks like is happy to not go after the speed camp. Let Parting take it. On the other side of the map, double barracks coming up once again. Probably overcharging these bobs again to build these. Lickety-split. Yeah, much closer build times this time. So I think that second barracks was built by an overcharged bob. And immediately going for the health camp. We've seen Vanguard do this every single game. Probe has done this every game, pretty much no matter where the health camp is. He'll go for it first. Just so that there's always a spot he can retreat back to with his Lancers. Once you have the speed upgrade, of course, really easy to just kind of back away. Go heal up, and then get back on the other side of the map pretty quickly. Splitting the damage well here. Meanwhile, Parting. Gonna try to not lose any of these Fiends. Manages to do it, actually. Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. Well done. It's interesting the things that Vanguard value over Infernals for creeping. Vanguard really heavily favoring health camp above everything else. Health, then vision, and then kind of your opponent's health camp so that you can be aggressive. Infernals really wanting to just go for whatever camps have the most creeps at them so that you can get a ton of Fiends. Okay, Doombringer is down here. Going to drop a second Iron Vault. Fiends get a little bit of scouting done. A couple of them dying for that vision here. Gaunt's going to start putting some pepper on these Lancers. Okay, and Doombringer does scout this. Picks up the Gaunts. Going to teleport them over here. Again, we've seen Parting completely unafraid to drop his Gaunts right in the face of these Lancers. Lancers, however, getting a pretty nice surround on those Brutes, but the Brutes worming their way back out. Doesn't pick up all the Gaunts, but doesn't lose any either. One of the Brutes will go down, turn them into Fiends. And these Gaunts are trying to get some damage done. The Lancer speed upgrade, though, now hitting. Probe is going to be able to get on top of all these reinforcements pretty quickly. Only one Brute to really screen here. This Iron Vault now finished up. Should have a Brute available. But Parting, microing these Gaunts as hard as he can. Okay. Probe going to go for the health camp here. Now, is Parting going to try to deny this from him? Or get some damage done while he's healing up? This is a lot of Lancers. Ooh, it's a lot of Lancers. Okay, Parting is not gonna... he's not gonna go for it. He says, actually... drops the Doombringer, saves that last Gaunt there. Pops it up for a couple attacks. And then pops it back in. Drops the Super Shroud Stone. Is Probe gonna respect it? Not currently. Loses one of the Lancers. Mind you, they do have the speed upgrade. So they will be able to back away pretty quickly there. It's a little unfortunate losing that single Lancer there. Vanguard love to snowball off of their Lancers going into Exos. Third base is up for Probe here. More barracks is coming out. 2 more, in fact. As he runs back in with his Lancers. Again, just trying to get on top of these Gaunts as quickly as possible. Parting, though, trying to pick them up. Will manage to do so. The Fiends, though, starting to cascade a little bit. The fight's getting a little out of control, but these Lancers are all staying so healthy. Second Shroud Stone does now finish up here. Parting, microing those Gaunts once again into the Doombringer. Not really losing any of them. Now, the Shrine does have a ton of HP. So Probe moving his weakened Lancers back to that health camp. Parting really needs to hold this third base. He can't really afford to lose this third while Probe still has his completely healthy, and it's nonstop Lancer production here for Probe, who looks like they might have PartinG on the back foot. There are so many Gaunts out here. Oh, but they just get chopped in half so quickly. PartinG is trying. The Shroud Stone might go down here in just a moment. Not sure where to put the Doombringer in order to heal up. Okay. Some good micro here. Again, not really losing as many Gaunts as you would normally see when it's Lancer versus Gaunt. That Doombringer getting so much effective healing done. Now we have 2 Imps. Able to explode here. I like this. He goes for the Hellborn Resurgence in order to make 3 Imps immediately and blow them up straight away. Drops the Shroud Stone super again. A ton of damage coming out, though. These Hellborn Resurgence once again. Making these Imps excellent connections on top of those Exos and Lancers, but is it going to be enough? This is health camp. It just lasts so long, man. PartinG can't really chase down these units. The one advantage he does have is that Probe's reinforcement path is so far away. Okay, some more Imps over here. Oh, but the Lancers getting on top of these Gaunts straight away. Imps, though, getting some good connections. These Lancers kind of oddly not... kind of getting stuck on the ground there for a moment. And it's just non-stop siege coming out here from Probe as a 4th base goes down. PartinG has no inkling of an idea of being able to take a 4th right now. He's just trying to hang on. Now that the Exos are in the mix, though, the Doombringer is not so reliable. These Imps, though, coming from the back, don't manage to get on top of these Exos, though. Excellent micro here from Probe, and that is going to be GG for PartinG. Probe tying it up 2-2. We get a game number 5. Exceedingly well played there from Probe. What a phenomenal rush. Super well done. We have gone the distance in each one of our games so far. Taking it all the way to game 3 in Lorimbo versus Mixu. All the way to game 3 in Theory versus Top. And now we get blessed with a game number 5. For PartinG versus Probe. But it is PartinG's map pick. Probe showing that Secluded Grove is a very, very good Vanguard map. He feels extremely comfortable playing there. But where is PartinG going to take Probe? Well, let's find out. This is our last game of the night, everybody. I appreciate you all joining us for the games so far. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have as we get into game number 5. And we are going to Jagged Maw, baby. Oh, yeah. Best map in the pool. In the top right corner, hoping to win 3-2. It is Probe, the Vanguard player, who has shown the true power and potential of Lancers and health camps. And in the bottom right corner, unafraid to sacrifice every single worker he has to further the cause of the Infernals. It's PartinG. Now, we saw an absolutely unhinged strategy from PartinG on this map earlier. Going for a quick siege camp rush, which is not so crazy, but then deciding not to kill the rocks in the center in order to kind of bait Probe into making some sentries over here and actually attack with the siege camp, taking the long way around. We'll see if he wants to do something similar here. Probe now, though, I think going to be a little bit more suspect. Might scout the center of the map, of course, if he was able to scout with his dog. He would have seen that the middle was not mined out. Okay, it does look like, once again, it's going to be a siege camp rush. Shroudstone going down. Gaunt going to start putting some pepper on him. Very similar setup here from Probe as well, going for the natural. A barracks on the low ground. And PartinG just happy to stay. 3 workers on Therium, 9 on Luminite. He's got the expansion. He's going for the siege camp. Are we going to see the center mined out, though? Here's the scout. He's looking. He's going to try and see, is PartinG... He knows he's going for the siege camp. But what path is it going to take? Okay. Now, the scout is going to try and get some damage done here. It does so much damage. PartinG's got to be careful with these gaunts, of course. Because this siege camp does start at level 3. That is a ton of damage off of these units. Okay, but it looks like, indeed, siege camp obtained. And he's going to go for the no rock kill siege camp. Probe sees that. He's able to prepare. How does he react to it this time? Last time we saw him put some sentries down to try to block this ramp up a little bit. This time, obviously, not going to do that. He knows he's not going to come through the center of the map. PartinG, more than happy to just walk around the sides, creep the camps as he goes along, take the vision camp, get the speed camp, and hit with a ton of fiends. Okay, gonna centrally place these sentries a little bit more, not all inning to the side of the ramp. Okay, vision camp goes down here. And speed camp goes as well. Doombringer is online. 7 on Therium here. The shrine upgraded. Doombringer going across the map. Gonna hit at the same time. Maybe trying to hit in the main with these gaunts. While microing against the Lancers here. With the siege. No, just brings the Doombringer over. Oh, he picks up the gaunts. Oh, my goodness. And the scout is positioned to try to find the Doombringer. But the Doombringer, it's already hitting. It's already on the other side of the map. It's going into these bobs here. Bob overcharge does get activated. Gaunts are going, but the siege camp starting. There's a Hornet out, though. The Hornet's going to get taken away from the siege camp. Mind you, this thing, with the Bob inside, does heal almost perfectly the damage that the catapult does. This is a weird vision area. I can't not make it do this, so we're going to get a real zoomed in perspective here. There we go. Now the Hornet. That is his answer for this weird siege camp. The extra time that Probe has by not cutting through the center is enough mining for him to get a hanger out, to get a Hornet going. Love to see it. Adapting to these plays as they're happening second by second. So we're going for a bit more of a Hornet style as the hanger continues producing. And he gets that increased production time. He gets that shortened production time. Okay, now, however, cutting through the center. Going to pure Gaunt. Really no brutes here. Not many Lancers to speak of, so he doesn't have to worry too much about the damage from them. Fiends do manage to surround this Lancer. They are going to take him down. Only one Fiend dying, but instantly gets replaced by that Lancer there. Third base up and running here for PartinG. We've got 4 Conclaves, double Iron Vault. No tech so far. No Shadow Claves. No Ritual Chambers. And much to my dismay, no Spriggans. All right. Probe full committing. Oh, you're right. Ritual Chamber is next to the natural. I missed it. Excuse me, guys. Apologies as I still get used to what all these structures look like. But Probe is really leaning into this Hornet style. Hornets running into the main here. DPSing down this Shroud Stone, getting a little bit bunched up. Okay, doesn't even have to pop the shield. Now, PartinG, does he come back to defend this? He does not. He says, I'm going for the pimp bus, baby. Brings the imps with him. Gaunt's moving across the map. Hornets getting some good damage done. But back at home, PartinG just happy to remake Gaunts here and defend this with just his production. While he's on the other side of the map, he knows there's not enough Lancers. Imps immediately jump on top of that sentry. The Bobs do not react quickly enough. And there's so many Gaunts here. The Doombringer does get taken down by these Hornets here. Hornets go back home. They are healing up. Now, while they're healing, mind you guys, they are unable to attack. He cannot control them. So these Hornets are as good as dead. Ooh, very rough timing here for Probe to heal up those Hornets. As so many Gaunts happen, and that is it. GG gets called. Probe gets taken out, and PartinG wins 3-2 on Jagged Maw. Wow, what a game. What a different style. Leaning in to just mass Gaunt production, going for the Imp Bus, going for that quick Flame On ability from the Ritual Chamber. Ignoring that Hornet harass in the main. He knows he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have Shadow Flyers, so not ready to go. Decides to just go for the trade instead. Works out wonderfully. What a series. GG, well played. PartinG takes it 3-2. Probe making him go all the way to game number 5 to take it. But man, what a series it was. Fantastic games tonight, guys. We got to see some incredible Stormgate. Best of 3s going all the way to game number 3. Our best of 5, PartinG versus Probe, going all the way to game number 5. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight for afterMath Arena. This is the first, hopefully, of many. Wonderful time. Super, super well done. Congratulations to PartinG taking that down, showing us that Infernal can win some games. But super well done to Mixu and Top for winning their best of 3s. Very well done to PartinG. Congratulations to all our players who will be getting some payout, regardless if they won or if they lost. So big thanks to all of our champions, all of our challengers for playing in the first afterMath Arena. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed casting it. I don't know if that's possible, because I will tell you that I enjoyed casting this quite a lot. So we can go ahead and put up our final score here. Let me grab it real quick, as I, of course, in my infinite wisdom, did not pre-save all of these images. But GG, well played. Some fantastic games. Hard to really pick a favorite, I would say. Hard to really pick a favorite. If I had to, though, man, I will say this, guys. I did receive confirmation from Theory himself, who did confirm that the meat farm, killing his own meat farm, was in pure Theory fashion unintentional. He did not mean to kill it. I gotta pick that as my favorite. Titan's Causeway, game number 2, I believe it was, in Theory versus Top. That's my favorite. That's my favorite of the night. If you guys have a favorite, definitely let us know. These games will be going up on YouTube. ! afterMath in the chat. We'll get you over to our Twitter. And guys, that's all we got. That's all the games that we have tonight. But stay tuned and keep your eyes glued wherever you get your Stormgate information, because we got some fun and big things happening in the future. Hopefully some more show matches gonna hit you soon. But for now, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this, let us know. GG, well played to all our players, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody, and thanks for joining me. Until then.